Brodes Media.
Sunday night, 8 o'clock, when everyone has the Sunday scaries and when people are tuned into the Grammys, Rhodes wants to make sure the Philadelphia area has the shittiest Monday ever. All right, go to Wawa, get your hazelnut coffee, get your nice little French vanilla, whatever you do, and be pissed off because the big man who's playing the best basketball on planet Earth is going to miss some extended period of time. It blows, and it was the news that seemed inevitable, right? I mean, it's not shocking that we are here based off of the timeline and why did it take so long to get anything new and how come he was seeing 3, 4, 5 different doctors. Well, it's obvious he wasn't getting the information that he wanted, so let's speak to a couple of different experts to see if maybe there's some way around this, and the answer is you need surgery. Don't be fooled by the way the wording is, a procedure on a displaced flap. You want to know what a procedure on the displaced flap is? I'll tell you for free. My man's getting surgery on his meniscus, and they want to try and water down the message, but reality is that's where we're at, and I don't know how long this is going to take. It's possible it could be maybe 8 weeks or so, which would put you right at the back end of the regular season. Then the question becomes, what type of shape is he if he does get to go full throttle in the postseason? Or can the team even make it to the playoffs if you're just going to run it without the big man? And now every single day you have a new lineup. Tobias Harris out with an illness. Robert Covington, DeAnthony Melton, I haven't seen them in 56 years. Furkan Korkmaz is playing way too many damn minutes. Is Nick Batum available or is he not? Nick Nurse, I have to imagine, is extremely frustrated because at least, if you know you're missing Joel and everything else is together, you could figure out what works with that roster. And I could hope to God that they could win some regular season games, right? I mean, there's a lot of bad teams out there. What can happen is you get dominated and blown out by a gross Ben Simmons-led Brooklyn Nets team and allow 136 points to the poor. It just can't happen. So I would like to think if you had guys that were consistently in there, then Nick Nurse could figure out, hey, that lineup was plus 17 last game. Yo, that lineup was minus 12. I didn't really like what we did with that group. And hey, with the ball handler here, Pat Bev, maybe we can work some details out with this. And, then there's some consistency involved to try and gain some life and just get to the finish line. I'm not talking about doing anything in the playoffs. You need Joel. Without Joel Embiid, you're screwed. I don't want to hear from anybody that this is Tyrese Maxey's team, that Tyrese Maxey can go do this thing solo. It's time to build around Tyrese. No. Tyrese Maxey is great, and Tyrese Maxey is going to be a superstar in this league. But this team isn't built without Joel for him to go be special. There's a different type of beast in regards to going to win a championship. Now, that's more of a conversation on if you're going to trade Joel and try and get rid of him and reboost this thing, which I totally disagree on. The way that I label this is it's Kyle Schwarber, right? Kyle Schwarber is a strikeout machine, but he can also hit 50-plus bombs. And if you're in a big-time spot and it's the NLCS Game 7, bases loaded, you're down 1, and there's 2 outs, I'm taking my swing with Kyle Schwarber. It could be one extreme, which in this case would be Joel Embiid not being healthy, but the other extreme is a home run, maybe a grand slam, and a big-time walk-off at the bank, and that would be if Joel Embiid could ever stay healthy. And I know what you're saying. He never stays healthy. I know. That's why I thought he was due. Believe it or not, after so many damn years of going through the same discussion, there was some belief deep down in me that wondered, We gotta get one lucky bounce. The quadruple doink, Kawhi Leonard off the rim 5 times goes through. When do we get our bounce, okay? Because here's Markelle Fultz elbowing him in the face. Here's Pascal Siakam elbowing him in the face. Here's Joel needing surgery on both hands. How do you operate? Let me know how you operate in the NBA postseason when you can't even utilize your hands. When can I get Joel healthy? We are due. And I thought maybe we could get there, but of course I was wrong. But anyway, the point is, with the whole trade Joel, this and that, I had a caller last night on WIP bring this up, and it's crazy to me. He used Kawhi Leonard as the example with the San Antonio Spurs and said, well, you know, Kawhi won a championship there prior to Toronto, and he had a specific role. If we trade Joel and then we have Tyrese play a specific role, then we can build around him with assets we get from a Joel trade. And this is why that's so damn flawed. Okay, first off, in that scenario, you would need to get every piece that's in the return be sensational. Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Ginobili, the list goes on and on. That team was Hall of Fame level gross. And while Kawhi had an excellent role there, he wasn't the guy. The guy is a big difference. And if you're saying Tyrese Maxey's just a role in an entire system here and a good scheme, and the assets you get back in return for Joel fills in the other holes, that means what you get in return needs to be Tim Duncan, Hall of Fame, Tony Parker, one of the best point guards to ever play the game. Ginobili was excellent in what he brought to the table. That is so outrageous. You're never going to get something back in return that's worth the value. And also keep in mind here, Joel Embiid's the greatest right now. It's not even a debate. He's the greatest when on the floor at playing the sport of basketball. No one would ever give that up, right? And I know there's a qualifier here. He's injury prone. But let's remove that for half a second because it shows you just maybe the view around the league. The dude can't stay. He's the best player on the planet. You'd be an idiot to let that walk out of your building. So why would the Sixers? There's clearly something wrong if you are going to do that. I don't agree with it. I'm just letting you know what obviously some of the frustration has been and what some of the noise is, and I just think it's so foolish. But in what world would that not light off a red flag? Or why would that not have a big flash in red light? Hold on. Who would give that up? There's something to it, and nobody's naive here. Obviously, there's a risk involved with Joel, and some would say it's worth the risk because the ceiling is so high, and I agree. That's why I would keep him. But yeah, you know, it's a lot. It's a very emotional time here, obviously. I wanted to spend more time on what this means and where they're at more so than get him out of town, but I know. I've taken calls. I've seen it all. I've seen the reaction. It's time to give up on this guy, and I just don't believe it. It's just annoying that we are here. But I like this option compared to let's reevaluate in a couple of weeks. Let's get no procedure done, because then in 2 or 3 weeks, if he's able to push it, you're going to see straight up that he made zero progress, and then we're back to square one. And this may eventually take us to a spot where he can't even go for the playoffs. I'm not ruling that out by any means. I think my gut tells me, though, that it's probably going to be the rest of the regular season. He's put on pause, and then, you know, you see a first round, and then maybe he filters back through then. And I don't know what version we get at that particular time. It probably will be something along the lines of the sloppy Embiid, where it wouldn't surprise me if he still drops 32 and he grabs 12 rebounds, but there's also 6 turnovers involved. And then maybe those 6 turnovers end up being the reason why you lost. And it's the fourth quarter. There's 3 minutes to go. He's not in rhythm, and he's lost a step because he's just not able to run, so he's not in a great spot conditioning-wise and all that. And then it's like, here's a fast break with 3 minutes to go in a 2-point game. Now it's a 4-point game. You call timeout, and you can see the building on the road gain all sort of momentum because of a sloppy turnover. That wouldn't surprise me at all, and it's just a damn shame. But it is better. Just get it done. Get Joel healthy. Get Joel to be the best that Joel can be now that we are in this predicament, and at least they did that.